Hi folks, this is part 3 of our course, The Attitudes of Mastery. In our previous courses on timelines, we learned how the timelines of potential, probability and possibility, and how we navigate our consciousness to higher potential through our thoughts and emotions, and to a higher probability through our values and standards, and then to a higher possibility through our attitudes. Attitudes all work together, and each attitude opens up a new possibility, and together they assist us into higher timelines of possibility. So let's jump into what these attitudes of mastery are that will assist us in mastering the hologram and lift the frequencies of our experiences onto higher timelines of possibility. The next attitude we want to look at is presence, that is, being present. Presence is the art of owning, acknowledging and being responsible in each moment of our conscious experience here, as each frame of this holographic experience unfolds. Presence is total awareness and being consciously present in every situation. Presence is focus. Presence is observing what is and not trying to change it, but to change one's conscious observation of it. One cannot change what is, but one can change how one chooses to interpret or give meaning to what is. By this way we can change the next frame of the reality we are observing. In other words, we can influence our future by owning, acknowledging and being responsible in each moment for what is being experienced, and bringing our own interpretation and meaning to it without prejudice or presumption. So how does it work? I should remind you that all you have is your free will. We will own nothing in our lifetimes except a moment in time and what we choose to do with it. The things and people around us are just a holographic projection of our conscious will. Owning, acknowledging, and being responsible for the present is the way the soul is refined. When we own, acknowledge, and take responsibility for the experience we are having, and we make choices, and those choices have consequences, backflow from the universe, and that determines our future experiences. We create our future by being present in each moment of time and what we do with that. In fact, we also create a new past by being present in each present moment. In reality, the past does not exist anymore. It is past and it is gone. But what does exist in our present is how we remember it, interpret and give meaning to it, and how we ascribe value to the past and past experiences, and that which we bring into our present. It's a funny thing, but I have spoken to many people who interpret and identify themselves through the lens of their past, and drag all their bad experiences into the present. They define themselves not by the present, but by their past. Our past has only given us our current viability, and that is all it has given us. The experiences of the past that we drag into our present and future is of our own choice, but what we carry with us is baggage that no longer exists, unless we allow it to. Our past bad experiences are like heavy rocks we place in a bag, and we hoist it over our shoulders, and we carry them wherever we go. We carry them through our present. We are weighed down and limited by them, and we won't let them go. We destroy our enjoyment of the present by the rocks we carry from our past. It's like the character Pilgrim in John Bunyan's book, Pilgrim's Progress. Likewise, we have the dreamers who are ever present in their future, and the present escapes them. They speak of the future with certainty, and to them their present is all about the dream of the future. They escape their present by dreams and visions of their future, unable to deal with their present. I would like to make it clear, and please understand this, the past no longer exists. The future does not exist. All that we will ever own and experience is this moment in time, and what we do with it. What we bring into the present should not include the past or the future, neither of which exists now. The only thing that exists is this moment in time. Dragging the past or future into the present is not only stupid, but is highly flawed. What we should bring into the present is our presence, that is, our ownership of this present moment in time, how we observe it, what values we ascribe and bring to our current experiences, what choices we make and take responsibility for, and how we choose to experience our presence. Frankly, nothing else exists. All the rest is an illusion of time. Taking offense easily is what has caused broken relationships, broken families, broken communities, broken societies, has caused war where humans kill each other, and led to a plethora of human-on-human conflict and devastation. The universe simply does not work that way, so why do humans? This is the attitude of unoffended. Those who are easily offended are defending something. But what are they defending? Offense is only taken when there is a perceived need to defend something. Offense and defense work together on this planet. Most humans have a defense system, and we are all defending something. But what are we defending? The measure of our indignation is usually an indicator of what we are defending, and by observing what causes us offense will usually reveal what we are defending, if we pay attention, but it is tricky, because we usually don't recognize what we are defending because it is not just one thing, it is a combination of many things. So over the years, as we observe what it was that has offended us, we are able to reveal what it is that we are defending. And it's usually based on our training, education, indoctrination, and untruths. They've had no validation in truth or science, and so the search for the truth begins. In other words, our preconceptions, biases, and prejudices are what we are defending. It is those things we are offended by that reveal what we are defending. And if it is based on our training, education, indoctrination, and untruths that have no validation in truth or science, we owe it to ourselves to retrain, re-educate, and unindoctrinate and find the truth of what is, and is so vividly illustrated here by nature, and from whom we could learn a lot. Unoffended is when we no longer feel the need to defend, based on the notion that the universe is at a de facto wholeness, and can allow the expression of another to be, without feeling the need to defend against it. Unoffended is validating oneself as the soul on the soul journey of soul evolution, in a contiguous, coherent, and unified universe that requires no explanation or justification. It just is. Taking no offense means knowing who you are and not trying to defend that, because it requires no defense. I am who I am. Those who cause us offense are just reflections of who we are and aspects of ourselves and what we are defending, which is our perceived identity, given identity. And if no offense is taken, we are able to reclaim our true identity, untrained, uneducated, and unindoctrinated, and live the truth of who we are. So the next time you feel offended, take a step back and recognize what it is that is offending you. You may just discover who you truly are, and begin to identify yourself as a soul being on a journey of soul evolution in a contiguous, coherent, and unified universe that requires no explanation or justification of who you are. As a sovereign, individuated expression of the one thing, there is nothing to defend but your sovereignty and your free will. Once the only thing we defend is our free will and sovereignty, and let others cast their verbal abuse as they wish, and not be offended or affected by it, we've become more self-sovereign and express our sovereign by being unoffended. A self-sovereign allows others to be self-sovereign as well. So there is no offense in another expressing their self-sovereignty. In this way we can defend what needs to be defended, our will and our self-sovereignty. The sovereign right to be who we are without causing or receiving harm, loss, or having our freedoms impeded. So be slow to take offense and only defend that which may cause you harm, loss, or impedance of your free will and sovereignty. How does unoffended work in the universe? The universe will only defend one thing, and that is the right of expressions of all beings. It has its own fail-safe and recycling system. They are called black holes, where previously conscious beings, including stars and their solar systems, planets and their inhabitants, undergo soul fragmentation and become space dust, quanta again, to begin their soul evolution again. At the highest level or the lowest level, if I put it in those terms, all are expressions of the one thing, and are given a divine template on which they begin to experience their soul evolutionary journey. They are all interconnected through the wave fields that create and support their manifest reality. On our planet, first and second dimensional soul beings and those in between follow the will of God, the universal system. The first dimensional beings here are amoebas like bacteria, organisms, elements, and minerals. They all have the divine blueprint written into their soul bodies through their DNA. That may not be apparent, but it is there. They are all expressions of the nature of divine physical form, the living water that creates the platform for all other expressions of the divine form. The second dimensional beings are imbued with mind that encompasses intelligence, not logic necessarily, and expresses intelligence in an intelligent way to create ecosystems. Ecosystems are arrangements of first and second dimensional beings that are interdependent, self-supportive, and form the framework for third dimensional beings to express themselves. These also encompass insects, birds, fish, animals, and vegetation. At the highest level, or the lowest level, if I may express it in those terms, all are expressions of the one thing, and are given a divine template on which they begin to experience their soul evolutionary journey. They are all interconnected through the wave fields that create and support their manifest reality. On our planet, first and second dimensional beings and those in between follow the will of God, the universal system. The first dimensional soul beings here are amoebas, organisms, and minerals. They all have a divine blueprint written into their soul through their DNA that may not be apparent, but they are there. They're all expressions of the nature of divine physical form, the living water that creates a platform for all expressions. The second dimensional beings are imbued with mind that encompasses intelligence, not logic necessarily, and express their intelligence in an intelligent way to create ecosystems. Ecosystems are arrangements of first and second dimensional beings that are interdependent, self-supportive, and form the framework for third dimensional beings to express themselves. These encompass vegetation, insects, birds, and animals. It's important to understand that. That's why I've repeated it. Third dimensional beings are humans, and in their divine template that have their emotional body fully activated. Now the difference is between the first and second dimensional beings, they don't have their emotional body fully activated, whereas humans have their soul body, their emotional bodies fully activated. That means that they have free will and creative and integrate all three dimensions into one being. Logic is the ability to use both information, knowledge, and emotions, values, to draw conclusions that are meant to lead to wisdom. That is, words and actions that are in balance with each other, and the soul of the being expressing them. First and second dimensional beings largely don't take offense, but they do establish defenses against predators. They are defending themselves from being a food source for others. They are defending who they are without pretense, though some do camouflage themselves to blend into the environment. This is our first defense, and is a natural instinctive defense for being afraid. Humans have been predated on for centuries. The predators here are from higher dimensions in our universe. So humans have gone into defensive mode and start acting like second dimensional beings because they don't know how the universe works. So the man with one eye can rule over the blind, and they forget wisdom. It is knowing and understanding how the universe works that will free us from being predated upon. That is what I'm trying to reveal. Unfortunately, our entire solar system has been under predatory attack. These attacks are anathema in the universe. And unless humanity stands up for themselves, this entire solar system is destined to go into a black hole status. To do this, we have to be unoffended, but wise. Thus the saying, be as wise as serpents, but as gentle as doves. Our natural defense is fight or flight. But when we have faith in the way the universe works, we simply observe, think and feel, and act in accordance with our balance of the male and female energies, and in integrity with who we are. It's an energetic thing. Impeccability is probably the most misunderstood attitude of all, because it is sometimes associated with being perfect. That is not the case. Many of us are trying to be impeccable through our words and our actions, but we don't understand that we have to be impeccable with our thoughts and emotions first. Impeccability has been in quite resonance with our own knowledge of what we know, and mind and values, emotions. and displaying that and expressing that in all you think, feel, say and do. In fact, most of us do this all the time, and it's not recognized or appreciated yet because we are competing in a system that demands conformity and demands performance of duties and responsibilities for achieving goals and objectives, and to put us and keep us in slavery here. The universe doesn't require conformity. On the contrary, it expects creativity, self-empowerment, and allows for infinite expressions of all beings. We all have varying degrees of knowledge and ability to feel, but no two soul beings are the same. Impeccability is about remaining true to who you are, no matter how you perceive this, and how imperfect you may perceive yourself to be. What this stupid Earth system that we compete in does is demands that we all be carbon copies of each other and conform to a system in which we will always fall short because it was designed that way. So we feel imperfect and inadequate because we fail to meet the standards of an unnatural and imperfect system. We think we fall short of impeccability and keep conforming to the slavery system here because we don't examine our own standards and values and use them as our plumb line. Impeccability is not measured by our ability to appease the slave gods. It is measured by our ability to be true to ourselves and maintain and express with integrity who we are. Impeccability is the means by which free will choice beings can transform and transmute their experiences and navigate to higher frequency timelines. Impeccability is about choosing the highest probability for oneself and not sloughing in the doldrums of self-deprecation and self-pity, and not indulging in the trough of self-loathing. Impeccability is about being impeccable with one's thoughts and emotions, standards and values, and choosing what is genuinely and authentically you. Thank you for watching this, and don't forget to watch the special part 4 of the series. I've included an extra part because I felt that if I did this all in one video, that it might just be too much. And the 3 attitudes that I've dealt with today are very, very important to understand. So please watch the special part 4 and see you on the next video.